We're talking to Brett Loubser from Wechat at AfricaCom 2014. Hi, Brett.
Hi.
So I gather that you guys are on a discussion panel talking about quite a strong theme at this year's event, which is the relationship between OTTs and the telco industry. I'd like to ask you about that in a second, but first, could you just tell us a little bit about Wechat?
Sure. So Wechat is, I guess, one of the biggest IM-based platforms out in the world at the moment. We kind of classify it as a social communications platform. There's some fundamental differences between Wechat and some of the other players out there. And I think the biggest difference is that we're a full-fledged platform. So we're an enabling platform that allow brands and consumers to interact with each other in a new way. And we're positioning ourselves as a kind of central point of connection for the on and offline worlds. And I think that's where Wechat's going to really shine.
Okay. And can you tell us a little bit more about your sort of global presence, your business right now, where you are, sort of where you're big, where you're not, that sort of thing?
So my focus and my team's focus is Africa, and we're pretty new on the ground in Africa. We've been at it for roughly 18 months, and we're starting to see some really strong signs of growth. But Wechat globally, 438 million monthly active users, so it's one of the fastest growing platforms on earth at the moment, and very, very strong, particularly in Asia, and then some territories in Europe, and then a couple of territories in Africa which were showing really good signs of growth.
Okay, great. And so as I was alluding to earlier, there's a lot of speculation about how the relationship between the telco industry and OTT players is going to play out over time, and things seem to be maturing. There seems to be a bit more collaboration going on. Could you just give me your perspective, a Wechat perspective on that dynamic and how you see it?
Yeah, I think especially from an Africa perspective, the opportunity for collaboration is huge. So there may be some interesting ideas on the horizons about alternate technologies that might come to bear and form new ways of globally communicating. But the reality in Africa is that the infrastructure that the mobile operators have invested in and put down is going to be the way that people connect with one another for many years to come. So I think it makes perfect sense to find a model via which both OTT providers like Wechat and the operators can collaborate. And I think we've had really good conversations with the operators at the event. Panels, I think, controversial but really exciting and interesting. And I think that the future looks bright for us working together.
Okay, brilliant. And just one last question. Talking about AfricaCom, can you just give us some quick thoughts about why this show's useful to you and your company?
Sure. I mean, it's the go-to event for telecommunications in Africa. It's the biggest one on the continent. Everybody from all over the continent gets here at once, and I think that's really powerful in its own right. I think people forget how big Africa is. Traveling across the continent takes a huge amount of time, and it's complex traveling in Africa. So getting everybody in one place at one time is super valuable. So for us, it's possibly one of the single biggest draw cards for being here.